Absolutely. Building at scale is something that India is looking at. And of course, that's the message going on here at the AI Impact Summit as well. But let me sort of bring in global comparisons as well. When you see the United States, well, it's spent a lot of money versus China. That's not really spent a lot of money building DeepSeek. And they have focused on the models aspect of AI, developing LLMs, developing very, very costly LLMs and AI models. However, India has chosen to sort of go the application layer. It has decided to build low-cost applications, and in fact, which is something not very resource-intensive. Is that something that India should strategize when it looks at AI leadership?
Yeah, look, so firstly, India is absolutely going to have a very significant play at the model layer, and this week we'll see that launches from a whole set of companies, including Sarvam. I think what you will see with Indian AI innovators is they will focus on uplifting the lives of 1.4 billion Indians, right? If you think about it, the US is very, very focused on AGI. China, in many ways, is much more focused on real-world applications, building models that actually perform as well in real-world applications. You will see India really focusing more on the latter, which is how can we build models that are highly performant, that are SOTA, but for applications that are here and now, right? So voice AI would be a very interesting example, because today, if you look at voice AI in Indian languages, Sarvam is state-of-the-art, both in speech to text and text to speech. And the kind of growth that they're seeing, both for their voice AI agents as well as the APIs that are all built off their own models is really quite spectacular, right? We've seen the same thing with OCR. I think last week they put something out as Sarvam that shows that OCR Sarvam today is. So what you will see in, I would say, models that range from, let's say, 2 or 3 billion parameters to about 100 billion parameters that are Indic languages. Indian companies are going to build models that are truly SOTA. And we believe that Indian AI will be won by Indian companies. And I think that's I know that's a pretty audacious goal to have and a pretty audacious thing to sing. But this week, hopefully, you will see the beginnings of what Indian model companies will do. But you're absolutely right that in many ways, the US is certainly focused on trillion parameter models going to 5 trillion. China started off with, call it the 3 to 5 to 100 billion parameter models. They've gotten up to about 500 billion parameter models, and now a few that are over 1 trillion parameter models. India is going to initially win sort of call it the 2 to 3 billion to 100 billion parameter models, as well as the on-device and edge models, and then over time we'll continue to scale up their models. Look, India is very much in the model race already, and I think this week the world will see what Indian innovators have done when it comes to models, and also how performant they are, as well as how extraordinarily low cost they are, and especially relevant for Indian applications.